Today on Rise and Dine, we are bringing bold Southern flavor that never goes out of style. It's rich, it's comforting, and it's guaranteed to make you rise and really shine. Back with us this morning is Vice President of Helms College in Culinary Education and Operations, and it's Chef Christopher Thompson. How you doing?
Great, great. Thanks for having me back.
We're so glad to have you. And I really want you to tell me what are we making today?
So we're going to do kind of a Southern staple, right? Just shrimp and grits, straight up. We got some white cheddar grits that we're going to do this with that I kind of set up already, just due to its cook time. And then I kind of have it finished, but I'm going to take you through the steps anyway.
All right.
So this is kind of a Southern classic, a staple, and just something that everybody that cooks down here should know and appreciate.
Yes.
So the grits, just real quick, this is a very basic process. You'll see in the recipe that what we're actually going to do is sweat some shallots and some butter. Then we're going to add chicken stock and milk, and then we bring that to a boil. We slowly whisk in our grits, and then when we get them set and where they want to be, then we finish it with shredded white cheddar cheese. And then the real kicker is seasoned with salt and pepper, but finished with a little heavy cream and a little more whole butter.
Delicious.
So that right there alone is a heavy dish within itself. The shrimp and grits we're going to make today, they're just like everything else that we talk about on these segments. That there's 1,000 different ways of doing something.
Absolutely.
This is just one quick version of it that's mainly sautéed. It's very fresh and it relies on reduction for its kind of the thickness and the body of the sauce, so to speak. So I will take you through that real quick and kind of point out a couple other things along the way.
Cool.
So we're just going to start with a little butter.
Yum. Do I need to get out of your way?
No, you're fine. Okay. And we're going to take some andouille sausage, and the great thing about this andouille sausage is that this is something we actually make in the third quarter of our program.
Okay.
So if you're a student at Helms, you're going to be taught how to make andouille and a number of other different things when you get to your garde-manger class.
Well, how do you make that?
It's a long process.
We won't talk about that right now. It's a lot.
That's probably another segment on its own. So just due to time, I'm going to kind of race this a little bit, but essentially what we're doing here is we're going to sweat out and start to crisp up the andouille. And then the next three we're going to add is onions, celery, and bell pepper.
All right.
And in Louisiana, this is known as the Holy Trinity.
Okay.
Okay, so this is kind of their benchmark. In French cuisine, you would replace the peppers with carrots, and you would have mirepoix.
Ooh.
And these are kind of your standard flavoring elements that give you background, okay?
That sounds
So we're going to let those onions, the celery, and the peppers.
Do you stir it after this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can I do it?
Absolutely, you can.
Just any method to this, or just kind of
Not really.
around?
You want to make sure that you're always keeping it moving, because what we're doing is sautéing. And sauté means to, literally, the literal translation of it is to jump, but it means to cook really high at a high heat.
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have volunteered to do something where I can actually burn something. Here you go.
That's okay.
Here, I'll go on this side.
You're going to get them over here. Okay. So we let that sweat out for a little bit, okay? And then typically what we're wanting to do is we're wanting it to cook down, and we want it to actually start to caramelize in the pan a little bit. When we do that, we get another technique that we teach is we start to develop something called fond in the bottom of a pan, which is basically the literal translation of that is foundation. So once we get that fond built up, then what we're going to do is start to deglaze. So I'm going to add a little bit of fresh chicken stock. This also is made by our first quarter students. So in our stocks and sauces classes, we're going to add a little lemon juice.
Nice.
A little Worcestershire.
Say it again.
No.
Tough one.
And then we had a segment on tomato jam. I talked about tomato concasse. Well, here it is again. So here's your other application of it, right?
You can use it in many different ways.
So tomatoes are going to go in. Now, there's one thing that I do want to point out is that you notice I haven't put any shrimp in our shrimp and grits yet.
Yeah.
Okay, and
So
there's a reason
like
for that.
A twist on the normal shrimp and grits? Or
No, it is purposeful for cooking purposes because shrimp tends to overcook and it cooks very, very fast. So because this sauce takes so long to reduce to get to the body that we need it to get to, I don't want the shrimp in there cooking the entire time because they're going to be very rubbery, hard, and very difficult to eat.
Right.
So what I actually do is make sure that I get the body of the sauce where it is. I make sure that I got the texture that I want, the flavors that I want, and then I add the shrimp last.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay?
Well, we are getting close on time, so can we possibly move along to
Absolutely.
plate it a little bit?
So here is our finished product.
We can take a look.
Okay. And we're going to take our white cheddar grits.
Yum. They look
And
so
you'll see
thick
how
and fluffy.
nice and rich they are with all the butter and everything that I have in there. And then we're just going to take the finished product and you'll see how that sauce came together and thickened up.
Beautiful. Wow, that looks gourmet. And you just
I would hope so.
you just did that right in front of us. That's so
That's right.
impressive. Do we have a fork? Do we have time? Do you think it'd be
Do
too
we have
hot?
time?
All
There
right.
you go.
Well, I'm going to try this after the break. I'm nervous that it's a little bit hot, but until then, you guys, you can find this recipe on our website. Just go to wrdw.com/morningmix. And also to have more information about Helms College and everything else, that's all you need to know in this recipe is also helms.edu. Thanks for being with us.